What's bunking, guys? Today I'm going to be talking about a JoJo light novel. So, I've kind of been running out of ideas lately. I haven't really talked about this too much. I do have some ideas, but unfortunately I'm stuck editing on my phone. Like, I record, edit, post, all that shit on my phone. So, I'm very limited in what I can do right now. So some of my ideas I have to wait until I can get a laptop for, and unfortunately that's not possible at the moment. So bear with me. I will be getting a laptop sometime soon. But yeah, so I think it was like 2 months ago at this point, I reached out to one of my subscribers asking for video ideas, and they said that I should do like an introduction style video to JoJo light novels. And I've actually never read JoJo light novels because I don't really like to read. Not like I can read just fine, but school ruined reading for me because that's all they fucking do is shove books down your throat. So, yeah, I've never read the JoJo light novels, and I haven't, over the past 2 months, I've been doing fuck all. I've been going to work, and then otherwise I've just been sitting at home. Yeah, I've not been very happy, so I haven't been doing anything. But I decided today, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking read. I'm gonna read for once in my fucking life. Like an actual damn book. And so I read the first chapter of Jorge Joestar, on the light novel, because I figured I'd go in chronological order, so I may as well read the part 2 book first. And I've heard some crazy shit about it. And yeah, so I'm going to talk about that. And we'll see. I'm either going to, I've only read chapter 1, so either this video is just going to be chapter 1, and then I'll make other videos on the other chapters, or I'm just going to record chapter 1 right now, and then I might do chapter 1 and have it be a part of the same video, but just recorded later. We'll see. But now that that's out of the way. So basically, as I'm sure you can expect, Jorge Joestar, the main character, is Jorge Joestar the second. Not Jonathan's father, but Jonathan's son. So we follow his son growing up on the Canary Islands. I don't know exactly why he's there. I understand, obviously, because, the end of part 1, they were kind of fucking stranded. But I would think Arena... Well, I guess they didn't have phones back then, so... Never mind, I guess it makes sense. So, yeah, they're stuck on the Canary Islands. Arena, George, and Elizabeth, or at least Lisa. And so we see Lisa is basically George's older sister in terms of, that's the role she fills. Obviously, they're not actually related. And George is getting bitched. He's getting bullied. He's very much like young Jonathan. Well, sort of. No, he's not really. He's not as brave. Like young Jonathan, we see he is brave. He will fight back, even if it means getting his ass kicked. George is not like that. George just cries when he gets insulted, and then Lisa has to show up and beat their asses, and they're all bullying him because he's getting saved by a girl. And, yeah, that's George. And then we find out that Lisa is actually going to be leaving to go live with Straizo, who is her adoptive father. If you've seen part 1 and 2, then you know who that is. So we see that George is very sad about that, because this means that he is going to be bullied even more. Literally in the beginning of the chapter, he tells us about how the bullies tried to make him eat dog shit. And they ended up getting it up his nose before Lisa could step in. So he's scared because without Lisa, he knows it's going to get even worse. But, Lisa breaks down and she's all telling Arena how she doesn't want to go. And George sees this and he decides that he needs to be strong. He can't keep hiding behind Lisa forever. So he tells her that he is going to beat up his bully. I think his name is Antonio, if I remember correctly. I just read it, but... it's pretty late and I am tired, so we'll see how much I remember it. But yeah, so he says that he'll beat up Antonio, but the next morning he wakes up and he decides he doesn't want any piece of that. He's not trying to fight Antonio, so instead he just goes to school early and he hides in the janitor's closet. And then he gets out and he slips into class at the last moment, and he's confronted by his bully's henchman, his quote-unquote goon, if you will, his friend, and he's all I know you killed Antonio. And George is like, huh? I didn't kill him. What? Antonio died? And it's revealed that Antonio was killed. Yeah, and so of course they all think that it was George and Lisa that did it. And this is where we find out that Lisa already had hormone, because they mentioned getting hit by her. I don't remember exactly the words they used, but they said it sounds like a tingling through your body, and that it like fucks you up. Like they said, Antonio was like running for like a few miles straight, like he could not stop running. His legs were like activated by the hormone. And yeah, so they expressed how like they know Lisa has some weird powers because getting hit by her like really hurts, and so they believe that Lisa killed Antonio. I will say one thing, this kind of rubs me a little bit of the wrong way. The characters do not talk like their age. We find out that George is 11, Lisa is also 11. She's a little bit older than George, because remember, at the end of part 1, Lisa was already born. She's the baby that Arena like saved when the boat was like sinking, while Arena was pregnant with George at the time. So they're about the same age, but Lisa is a little bit older than George. But he does specifically state that they are both 11 at that time, as are their classmates. But they don't talk like 11-year-olds. Now I don't know if that's it could be like a translation thing, like maybe. It was written to sound more childish in Japanese, but they translated it to English and they just couldn't like translate that well, or they just figured that it would be boring if it was like in child talk. I don't know, but to me it's a little strange to hear 11-year-old kids being like, he was murdered. Like, they're not going to be talking like that. So I find that a little interesting, and like that's just an example, but a lot of the words they're using, I'm like, as an 11-year-old I would not be talking like that. But I don't know, maybe that's just me. But like that's just a minor gripe. I really don't think it's a big deal. Just something I noticed. And there's this kid. Every time his name came up, I just skipped it. It was like Sukumuku, I think it was. I can't remember. But some Japanese kid. He is like a detective, and so then he comes in with like Antonio's skin. And it's revealed that like Antonio's mom has been like peeling off parts of his skin every single year and like collecting parts of his hair and then making them into like dolls of him. So she'll like stitch the skin together to make like a replica of him. It's so strange. And so that kid, Sukumuku, I do believe it is, he's carrying like one of them. And so that's really weird. And so they're like, okay, so Antonio's not dead, I guess, but he's still not there. And then they see Antonio standing in the fucking doorway, and it's revealed to actually just be Lisa in another, like, skin suit, if you will. But, Sukumuku talks about how his mom, Antonio's mom, has, like, a skin doll thing for, like, one for each year that Antonio was, alive. So, like, there's, like, one for when he's 1 year old, and, like, one for he's 10 years old. And how, as he's getting older, suddenly, like, the stitching is getting better. Like, they say in the newest one, it's not even, like, stitched together. There's one seam on the back. So the mother would, like, cut his skin along his spine and then just, like, peel the skin off of him like he's a fucking lizard. So I don't really understand that. But I mean, it's JoJo, so I'm sure it's just some supernatural shit. But that is pretty crazy. So that was really interesting. And so Lisa was revealed to be hiding in Antonio's skin in order to lure out his killer, because he was found dead, just skin. There was no flesh, no bones, none of that. It was just his skin left on the ground. So she wore it and basically walked to school in it in order to lure his killer. And she's telling everybody, you guys cannot go outside. When you walk home, you have to avoid the shade at all costs. And then that's when they notice one of their teachers is closing all of the curtains, but his body is falling apart as he's doing it. His face is starting to crack. He's losing his arm, this, that. And, obviously, if you know anything about JoJo, you can pretty well guess where this is going. He ends up dying, and then there's this guy on the ceiling, and he looks a lot like Antonio. Turns out it's Antonio's dad, and he's talking about how he hated Antonio, and so he just killed him. He just sucked out all his nutrients. And it doesn't ever explicitly state it, but it very clearly is telling you he's a vampire. It even states he has teeth, he's walking on the ceiling. He made it so that the teacher closed all the blinds so that, the sun didn't kill him, like they state. unlike how he's vulnerable to the sun, he's a vampire. Or I guess he could be a zombie, but I think he's a vampire and he turned the teacher into a zombie. I think that's what it is. And so Lisa decides she's going to fight him, and she does. She, like, runs out. George, like, runs behind her because he's like, I'm not letting her do everything again. And he jumps in front, you know, trying to, like, protect Lisa, but she ends up, like, sending Hummel through the floor. I'm trying to remember what the move was called. It was, like, blue something overdrive, and sends the shockwave through the ground, and it turns Antonio's dad, I forget his name, it started with an A as well, it turns him into ash, like, immediately. So either he was a really weak vampire, or child Lisa had some strong fucking hormone. But yeah, it, like, vaporized him instantly. And yeah, so then, you know, well, actually, George ends up passing out because he also hit the floor, so the hormone also hit him. And then he wakes up, and Straito's all telling him about how he and Lisa, like, spent the night defeating monsters. Again, it doesn't ever call them vampires, but I think it's pretty clear that's what they are. It doesn't ever state where the stone mask was. So I don't know if it's like a vampire was like a stowaway, but there's no mention of the stone mask in chapter 1. Again, I just read chapter 1, so I do still have to read more. But yeah, that's what happened there. And so then, you know, Lisa and George are growing a little distant, and George actually becomes friends with Sukumuku, and he expresses how it's his it's his first actual friend, and like, they become friends and all that. And Sukumuku is talking about, well, he, like, breaks the fourth wall. He's all talking about being a detective, but he's like, he's all saying, I'm not a detective anymore, or at least I'm not certain about it. And he's, like, talking about this force called the Beyond, which he says is like a god that's, like, guiding him and, like, watching over him. And he says he doesn't have the Beyond with him anymore because he knows that it's with George now, and that George is the main character. Like, it literally states that. It's like, this is your story, like, you're the main character. And that, like, he has to trust in the Beyond and all that. So yeah, then they're friends for a little bit, and, like, they're growing up, and, you know, it doesn't touch on Lisa, but obviously but obviously she's off training with Straito. And then at the end, Sukumuku fucking dies. He leaves to go to Japan for some reason, and his boat just disappears. It's like, it's just gone, and then all of a sudden it's found at the bottom of the ocean. And that's, you know, that's where it ends, as George lost his friend, and he's very angry about that. So I'm very interested to see where this goes. Like I mentioned a little bit ago, I have heard things about this book. Like, I know there's Ultimate, I don't remember what his name is, but it's like an even stronger Cars, and he has, like, really good stands. Like, he has, like, an insane White Snake. He has, like, a fucking submarine that's like Aerosmith but better. He has, like, Made in Heaven but, like, on fucking crack steroids. Like, he has all kinds of crazy stands that are even stronger. So I'm really curious to see where this I'm really curious to see where this goes, because I do not know how George is supposed to fucking defeat a Cars even stronger than the one Joseph beat. Like, that is insane. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. That was Jorge Joestar, the light novel, chapter 1. And yeah, I will definitely be talking about more light novels, and also my part 2 for my stand concept video will be coming out. I don't know when. I actually have a collab, so it's taking some time because, you know, my collab is you know, doing their work. So look forward to that. I don't know when it'll be, but it is in the works, I promise. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching, and take care.